So we will be talking about that said team. See that topic number 3, NFC champs. We're going to be talking about your Detroit Lions and or Philadelphia Eagles. Who is the best team in the NFC? But we do got to start off today's show talking about the LA Rams taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Last night, the Philadelphia Eagles come out and laid a whooping on the LA Rams. The LA Rams playoff dreams and divisional championships dropped down to 11th and a 10% chance to make the playoffs after that crushing defeat. They do move to 5-6 on the NFL season. So we got to ask the question, guys. Are the Rams playoff dreams and divisional championship, aka the NFC West, are they over? Is their playoff dreams and division championship dreams over in LA? Like we said, the LA Rams dropped 2 spots, not 1, but 2 spots in the NFC playoff race, dropping them down to 11th. They have now just a 10% chance, a Miss Davis chance of making the playoffs. Not a very good chance. The Rams are, however, sitting in 3rd place in the NFC West at a 5-6 record. They are only 1 game behind the Seahawks and Cardinals for first place. So even though they have a losing record, even though they have only a 10% chance to make the playoffs, they're still only 1 game behind the first place Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals. And when you look at their schedule moving forward, next weekend, week 13, lucky number 13, they play at New Orleans Saints. I believe it's called Caesars Sports Dome now. That is where they play. And then they play the Buffalo Bills, and then they travel to San Francisco to play the 49ers, and then they're at New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, to take on the Jets, and then they end the season battling the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So arguably, it is going to take a division championship, them to win the NFC West to make a playoff run, to make the playoffs in general. Like I said, they're 1 game behind the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Are the Rams' playoff chances in division championships over? And when I first said this, I want to say, yes, they are 100% done, right? They are 100% done. They have not been living up to expectations this season. I don't think anybody really had much expectations for them, but injuries and whatnot have definitely derailed this team early in the season and has kind of put them behind the 8 ball per se, right? Per se. But when you look at that team, they got a nice little young nucleus, right? The front 7 on their defense isn't half bad. And when you look at their losses this season, they lost to the Detroit Lions opening week at Detroit. They battled them 26-20. That I think that is the Lions' closest game besides the Texans game. And then they lost to the Cardinals, which was a beatdown 41-10. And then they lost to the Bears and Packers and Dolphins and Eagles. They've had a pretty tough schedule so far this season. Their wins have come over the San Francisco 49ers, the Raiders, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Patriots. Not a bad little 5-game streak that they have here, but when you play the Bills and the 49ers will be battling for their playoff lives again, and the Jets that want to play spoiler alert, and then you play the Cardinals and Seahawks to end the season, they do have a chance. The Rams do have a chance to make the playoffs. It is not a very good chance, right? It is 10%. But if I'm a betting man, and like I would put money where my mouth is, and I had to pick somebody to win the NFC West, I think the LA Rams I have more faith in the Rams to win the division than it is the Cardinals or the Seahawks or even the 49ers, right? Now, the 49ers are a team that can get hot and they can make a run and they can potentially make a Super Bowl push. They probably won't do it because injuries are a laundry list for them. They had like 21 injuries or something like that, crazy. But the Rams are a team that you kind of have to have faith in, right? They've been there. They've done that. They got the T-shirt, right? I mean, they got the Super Bowl pedigree on that roster as is. Who won the Cardinals? Who won the Seahawks? Have won a Super Bowl. Not anybody on the coaching staff, not any other starting quarterbacks. I don't think anybody on either one of those teams have won a Super Bowl ring. And if you look at the Cardinals, all season long, we've been waiting for that other shoe to drop. And I think it's finally dropped with that loss to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a team that could be 500 still, 9-8, right? But if you have to put stock in a team, why not it be the LA Rams, right? Why not have more faith in the LA Rams? I think they have a better playoff chance and dreams than the Cardinals and then the 49ers, right? I would take the Rams over both of those teams any day. And then I think it comes down to week 18, Rams at home battling the Seattle Seahawks for that division. I think the Rams have a better shot than anybody in the NFC West to win their division and win the playoffs and actually make some noise in the playoffs. So with that being said, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts about the Rams? Are they done? Stick a fork in them like they said on Saturday night on the on the preview show, or do you still have a little bit of faith in this time? Still have I personally still have some faith in them. I have more faith in the Rams making the playoffs than I do the Detroit Lions making the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. my man Derek's in the chat. He says the biggest shock from this week was Dallas winning. Yeah, about that. John says the Rams lost because of mix due to miss experience. I don't know what you're saying there, John. Like sometimes, John, I know what you're trying to say, but this time I'm just straight up confused. Due to a missed experience or mixed extra point, like what are you talking about? Explain that to me, John. John says their chances in LA are done. Done. Finito. Finenne. Adios amigos. And Jay says, I agree with John. They are done. They are done. They are done. They are done. Okay. I mean, only 10% chance. So I get it, right? I get it. Get off my shoe. But yeah, I just think I have more faith in the Rams than I do any other team. My man Frank Glass is in the chat. What's up, Frank? We'll be talking about your Colts here, Frank, coming up momentarily. So stick around. And John says, I'm just laughing at that kitty hate. I'm not hating on the Lions. I'm just speaking real. Josh Olsen in the chat says, my Chiefs will still be in the Super Bowl, unlike the other fraud teams like the Vikings and the Commanders. Josh, stay around for Factor Crap. We'll be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, man, so stay tuned for that. And Derek says, Sean McVay's system has been figured out. I don't think the Sean McVay system has been figured out. I just think, much like the 49ers, much like other teams out there, is that yes, there is a mentality, Derek, in the NFL is next man up, right? A lot of the mentality that, here on this Man Hour show, the MO all season long has been next man up. Well, there are such things as not starters in the NFL, right? When you look at teams across the board, usually the starters are usually pretty comparable, right? When you strictly put starter against starter, usually 9 times out of 10, they're pretty comparable, right? When teams get to their second string, that is usually when the big drop-off starts to happen. So when you look at a team like the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They have secondary guys that are just as good as their first guys. They have third string guys that are just as good as their second string guys. The Rams, once they get past their first string, they are done, right? When you are out an Aaron Donald, yes, I know he retired, but when you lose him, those second and third string guys were not able to really move up, right? They weren't ready to move up in that role. And it took them a while to figure it out. And that's where coaching comes into to play. Have that good feeder system where people are consistently being fed into a great system like they do have in Detroit and Philly and put Kansas City up there. Some other teams that are consistently performing as their feeder system. The Sean McVay system is good. Matthew Stafford is good. But when Cooper Kupp goes down, when Puka goes down, when Kyron Williams is still running the piss out of the ball, but that's all you got, it is hard to win. The Rams just don't have the depth. So I don't think system has been figured out. The Rams just don't have the depth to compete when they go down like other teams do, i.e. the Detroit Lions. John says Murray's going to be comeback player of the year. I don't know what accolades of comeback player of the year is, but he probably should be, right? He probably should be. Mixed extra point from the Commanders game. Okay. We will talk about the Commanders later. But guys, are the Rams playoffs dreams over? I think they're not. Most of the people in there say yes, they are. They are. So moving on.